Did you hear the storm last night?
Yeah, lightning struck a tree across the street.
Really?
Yeah, I literally jumped out of my skin.
Is it possible to literally jump out of your skin?
We had an interesting question from a viewer called Peter.
He said, I hear people saying literally for almost everything. It seems like an overuse of the word. What do you think about it?
Literally. Some people use this word a lot.
You say literally, 4 syllables.
Literally. What do you say then?
I can say it the same way, but if I'm speaking fast, I say literally, 3 syllables.
Is that a British English thing?
I think so. But the next question is, what does literally mean?
It has 3 meanings.
The first one is in a literal way, so with the exact meaning of the words you're using.
The traditional dress of Japan is a kimono, which literally means a thing to wear.
And here's another Japanese word, karate. It literally means the art of empty hands.
If we mean something literally, it means according to the actual words.
The words with their most basic meaning.
Okay, that's the first meaning. What about the second?
It's similar. Literally can mean something like really or in truth.
We say literally when something is surprising and we want to emphasize that it is true.
There are literally more than 3 trillion trees on Earth. That's more trees than there are stars in the galaxy.
And here's another surprising thing. Did you know that moose are good swimmers? They can literally swim 6 miles an hour. That's about 10 kilometers an hour.
But how far can they swim?
A long way. They can keep going for 2 hours or more. They're literally excellent swimmers.
So literally means truly or really in that sentence.
It was surprising, but there was no exaggeration.
Right. And the third meaning of literally is a little different.
That's when we use literally to emphasize things.
So surprising things again.
But this time, they're not true. They're false.
Let's see how it works. I can't come home yet. I'm literally up to my ears in work.
It was so funny.
We literally died laughing.
She's literally as tall as a house.
The exam was so hard, his head literally exploded.
I'm so hungry, I could literally eat a horse. Or maybe not.
I was so surprised, you could literally have knocked me down with a feather.
I'm leaving.
No, wait. It'll literally only take me 2 seconds to get to you. See? Literally 2 seconds.
There's a technical word for examples like this. Hyperbole.
Hyperbole. Hyperbole is when we exaggerate to add emphasis, or just because it sounds funny.
So let's review the 3 meanings and see how they compare.
The first meaning is about the literal meaning of words, and it's exact and very factual. The second meaning is factual too, but this time it adds emphasis to say something is really true. The third meaning adds emphasis as well, but here you change the original meaning of the words and exaggerate.
Notice that meaning 1 and meaning 3 are very different. They're practically opposites. In meanings 1 and 2, you're being factual and telling the truth. But with meaning 3, you don't stick to the original meaning of the words. Instead of telling the truth, you exaggerate to get an effect.
Some people think it's wrong to use literally with meaning 3. It's controversial and people have strong opinions about it. They think you should just use meanings 1 and 2. But you'll hear meaning 3 a lot in spoken English. It's pretty informal and it's becoming more frequent.
Is meaning 3 a new usage of the word?
People are using it more often, but actually it's an old usage. Lots of great writers in English literature have used it for effect.
It was used by great writers like Charles Dickens
And F. Scott Fitzgerald,
and James Joyce
William Thackeray.
and Charlotte Bronte. So do you think it's okay to use literally to exaggerate?
Yes and no. Yes, because people use it that way and it's becoming more common.
All right, you can't stop language change.
Exactly. But also maybe no, because a lot of people complain about it.
Well, then perhaps use it, but just a little.
Yes, not too often.
I think people complain about it when it's used too much.
And also because they don't like the idea that one word can have two opposite meanings.
But there are other words that do that. For example, wicked.
Yes, wicked can mean evil. So a wicked witch is very bad. But in informal English, wicked can also mean very good.
For example, we can say someone has a wicked sense of humor, and it means it's very good.
There aren't many words with two opposite meanings like this, but there are a few.
Let's see if you can spot one.
To dust is an interesting verb because if you're cleaning your house, you dust it. Dust means removing the dust.
But dust can also mean to cover something with sugar or flour. So if you're baking cakes, you can dust them with sugar.
So dust can mean removing or applying. It has opposite meanings.
Sometimes an English word can have two opposite meanings.
And literally is one of them.
So, are we done?
Yes, that's literally all we have for you this week.
If you've enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend.
And don't forget to subscribe, everyone.
See you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.